everyone and welcome back to another important topic of your MRP syllabus, that is tablet and capsule dosage form. These dosage forms are very important and today we are going to see 30 important MCQs regarding this. And if you know the answer for any of the questions, then please let us know in the comment section. So let's start with the first question. The very first question, before that what we are going to see is tablets. Under tablets, we are going to see the questions which will be related to coated and uncoated tablets, then various modified tablets. We have controlled release, we have sustained release tablets, okay? And in the capsule, we are going to see the questions which are related to hard and soft gelatin capsule, okay? So the very first question is, coating used to protect the tablet from acidic environment of the stomach. It is known as what type of tablet? Film coating, sugar coating, enteric coated or encapsulation. Okay. First of all, whenever a drug is having certain degradation properties in the stomach, we try to protect it in the stomach so that drug will not release in the stomach. Okay, drug will not release in the stomach. Instead of that, it will release its content in the intestine. That means we will give enteric coating. Okay, we will give enteric coating so that, because the polymers which we are using into this one, they dissolve in the intestinal pH, and that is the reason in the acid it will not dissolve. Okay, so that is the reason, if to protect the tablet from the acidic environment, we call it as enteric coated tablet. We call it as enteric coated. Film coating, when we are giving when we want to protect the drug in case of moisture sensitive from the environmental condition. For example, drug is susceptible to moisture, we will give film coating. Sugar coating, for example, any beta test is a drug, it is there, we are giving sugar coating. Encapsulation we are doing for sustained release or the controlled release. Okay. So option C, that is enteric coated polymer, and generally we are using phthalates. Okay. Phthalates are the enteric coated polymers. Okay. Remember this. So option C, enteric coated, is the right answer. Okay. Let's see the next question. Disintegration time for sugar coated tablet is. What is the disintegration time? Disintegration means when the tablet will completely disintegrate or convert into particles, individual particle, we call it as disintegration. Option A is 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes and 120 minutes. Okay. So basically for sugar coating, because sugar coating increases the weight of the tablet, so it takes certain amount of time to get disintegrate. So 60 minutes is the right answer. Okay, 60 minutes. First of all, if any effervescent tablet is there, effervescent means it should disintegrate very rapidly. Okay, so for effervescent, the disintegration time is only 3 minutes. Okay, effervescent tablet, the disintegration time is only 3 minutes. Then we have uncoated tablets. Uncoated tablets, we have the disintegration time of 15 minutes. 15 minutes for uncoated. Then we have coated tablets. For example, film coating. Coated tablets, we have 30 minutes of disintegration time. And if we talk about sugar coated, for sugar coating it is 60 minutes. Okay. And for enteric coated tablets, 2 hours for gastric intestinal condition and 1 hour for the gastric, that is stomach condition, for 2 hours and 1 hour for the intestine. Okay. Remember, these are the different disintegration times for the tablets. So for sugar coated, 60 minutes is the right answer. Okay. So this is dispersible 3 minutes, uncoated tablets, that is 15, film coated 30, sugar coated 60 minutes. Okay, and enteric 2 hours will be there in the stomach. Afterwards, it will release in the intestine within 1 hour. Okay, so as we know that along with the online courses, we have already started a series where students can give the test, which will be free on the GDC Classes app. You just have to download the GDC Classes app from the Play Store, click on the batches section and plus icon. Afterwards, you will have to enter your batch code, which is MRP25, and you can enroll yourself to give the free test. So make the most of it and do not miss this opportunity, and start your test today itself, every day at 6 p.m. only on the GDC Classes app. So like this, you can download from the GDC Classes app and make sure that you enter the batch code correctly, which is MRB25. Okay. So by this, you can give the free test. The next question is, in which type of sugar coating colorant is added? If you want to add color, there are various steps. Okay, so in that, if you want to add color, then we are adding in the syrup coating. Okay, we are adding in the syrup coating. These are the steps. Okay, polishing is the last step. Then we have seal and the sub coating. So if we want to add color, we are adding in the syrup coating. Okay, so option C, that is syrup coating, is the right answer. Okay. The next is Maillard reaction is related to, we have already discussed in our MRB classes, online classes, where Maillard reaction or the Maillard reaction is nothing but which happens with the diluents, okay, and that too mainly lactose. So we have lactose monohydrate and we have lactose anhydrous, okay. Monohydrate means water molecule is present. Monohydrate means water molecule is present and anhydrous means water molecule is not present, okay. So generally Maillard reaction means the drugs which contains amine, okay. So basically amine containing drugs if we use in the presence of magnesium or the metal stearate. If we use in the presence of metal stearate along with the lactose monohydrate, along with the diluent, that is lactose monohydrate, then it gives the Maillard reaction because of the presence of perfuraldehyde. Okay, so remember, if lactose monohydrate gives Maillard reaction, lactose monohydrate means what? Water molecule is present. So simple trick is, if water molecule is present, it gives Maillard reaction. If water molecule is not present, it does not give Maillard reaction. Okay, but remember, amine containing drug in the presence of metal stearate, it undergoes the reaction, that is diluent or filler. Okay, let's see the option diluent. The very first option is diluent. So option A is the right answer. Binder, glidant or disintegrants, they are not there. Okay. So option A is the right answer. Let's see the next question. Diluents, they are also known as fillers. Okay. So option can be filler also. So this is the alternative name. So lactose, amino drugs, that is amine, NH2 containing compounds, alkaline lubricant, that is magnesium stearate, and it undergoes tablet discoloration due to formation of perfuraldehyde. Okay. The next question is, which equipment is capable of both wet and dry, wet and mass blending? Okay. Diosna mixer. So these are the various types of mixers which we are using in the processing of the any of the powder mixture. Okay. Diosna, Sigma, Littleford or oscillating granulator. So basically for both we are using Littleford mixer. Okay. We are using Littleford mixer. So option C is the right answer. Littleford mixer, both wet mass and the blending. So to carry out the wet mass and for the blending process we are using. Then we have Diosna. So mixing, granulating, coating and the drying of the materials can be done. Then we have FBD. So it is used for mixing high viscosity liquids. Graal mixer modification, it is the modification of planetary mixer. Okay. So PG, you can remember, they will ask you what is the modification of planetary mixer. So PG, P for post and G for graduation. So you can remember easily PG. And oscillating granulator, that is sifting of the granules. Okay. The next question is, vitamin tablets are generally formulated as, okay. So vitamin tablets generally they are formulated as a chewable tablets, okay. So it is not a hypodermic, okay. Hypo means below. Dermic means what? Skin, okay. So basically if it is below the skin, we are not using. So vitamin, it is not for hypodermic. Sublingual means, sub means below. Lingual means tongue, okay. So generally heart related any of the tablets like nitroglycerin we are using sublingual, okay. But for vitamin we are using chewable tablets, okay. So option D is the right answer, that is chewable tablets, okay. The next question is, in the tablet coating process, inadequate spreading of the coating solution before drying causes what? Okay, so this is one of the defect. So if there is insufficient spreading of the coating solution, whenever we are drying and the coating solution is not sufficient, then what will happen? Orange peel effect, lamination, roughness. Okay, So it will cause a orange peel effect because it will look like a skin has been removed because there is insufficient amount of the coating solution. So option A is the right answer. Lamination is not related to the coating. Lamination means layers. A tablet will be removed as layers like this. Layers will be there of the tablet, right? So LL you can remember. Lamination means tablet will be removed as a layers, and that is related to tablet, not related to the coating. Roughness, it is not there, okay? So option A, that is orange peel effect. Peel indicates the skin, okay? So it is like a coating only. Orange peel effect. So option A, orange peel effect is the right answer, okay? Next is tablet friability testing. The drum is rotated. We know that friability we check to understand how much amount of the tablet will undergo variation in the weight during the transportation or the storage, right? So we are using friability, right? In that Roche friability, we will add certain amount of the tablets, right, depending upon the individual weight of the tablet we are taking. So according to USP, 6.5 gram we are taking. So depends, we can take 10 tablets, 12 tablets and so on depending upon the individual weight. So we will take the tablet. Initial we have to check the weight of the tablets and then subject it to the friability, right? In that, the drum should be rotated how many times. Now they are asking how many times. They are not asking RPM. If they ask you RPM, that is 100 RPM. The drum will rotate at 100 RPM and the total minutes will be 4 minutes. Sorry, the drum will rotate at 25 RPM and 4 minutes. So total rotations will be 100. 100 rotations will be there, okay? 25 RPM, okay? In 1 minute, 25 rotation. Like that, 4 minutes we have to do. So total it becomes 100 times rotation. You will take the initial weight, then you will take final weight. So the formula for friability is initial minus final divided by initial into 100, right? And the limit is 1%. Friability should not exceed 1%, okay? Then the test is passed. Let's see the option 50 to 170. No, 100 times is the right answer. That is option C. 100 times is the right answer, okay? So please remember, if they are asking total revolutions or they are asking the RPM. The first stage of waiting on addition of granulating agent to the powders is characterized by which of the following? So we have this also we have discussed in the class that whenever a granules are forming, initially individual particles are there. Afterwards, as soon as you add the granulating fluid, the stages will happen. Initially, a small liquid will be there. Then as a liquid happens, so there are four stages. Pendular, then you have funicular, then you have capillary, and then you have droplet. So in the class also we have discussed that simply remember the trick as PFCD. So PF, I think those who do the job or whatever, so they know that PF, there is a monthly PF deduction will be there. That is a provident fund. And CD is our compact disc that everybody knows. So simply remember PFCD. P for pendular, F for funicular, C for capillary, and D for droplet. So these are the sequence. What they are asking? First stage. What is the first stage? First stage is pendular state. Where is the option? Pendular. So pendular is the first. Then we have PF. F is the second. Then we have C. Capillary is the third. And droplet is the fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the stages. Okay. So first stage is pendular. That is option B is the right answer. Okay. So these are the stages. So here little granulating fluid is there between the particles. Here more, here more. And finally one granule will form using 4 or 5 particles. Next question is dissolution apparatus type 7 USP is basket, paddle, reciprocating holder. We know that USP basket is the first one in case of USP. In case of IP, this is second. In case of IP or IP or BP. Paddle, it is second according to USP. Okay. And all of this definitely it won't be there. Okay. Reciprocating cylinder, that is 7 is the right answer. Okay. So we have different types of USB dissolution apparatus. So your option C, that is reciprocating holder, is the right answer. So first is basket, second is paddle, reciprocating cylinder, then you have flow through cell. Flow through cell, FF you can remember. F for 4, F for flow through cell. Paddle over disc, cylinder, and the reciprocating holder. Okay. Which of the following is a binder? Remember the excipients, their examples are very important. Anything questions may come. Okay, which of the following is a binder? Okay, first of all, lactose. Just now we have discussed lactose is nothing but diluent, or diluent, it is also known as fillers. Diluents are also known as fillers. Okay, stearic acid. What is stearic acid? Lubricant. Okay, stearic acid is nothing but the lubricant. Colloidal silica. Colloidal silica is nothing but glidant. Okay, and acacia is nothing but the binder. Okay, or starch paste can also act as binder. Okay, so option B, acacia, is the right answer. Okay, option B is the right answer, which is nothing but the binder. The next question, before that, as you know that we have already started the online classes for MRB pharmacist examination. Along with that, you can also get the theory book plus the objective book. Okay, so theory book will cover all the syllabus for your examination. Along with that, you will also get the objective book, and then you will be having 200 plus premium test will be there. And along with that, live classes, recorded classes, everything will be given. The thorough preparation for your examination will be done. So make sure that you do not miss the opportunity and start your preparation by taking these books. The next question is final step in sugar coating process and carried out to impart a shiny distinctive appearance. This word itself tells you what should be the answer. Smoothing, color coating, polishing, printing. So in that, polishing is the final step where we will do to get that shiny distinctive appearance. Okay. So option C, that is polishing, is the right answer. Okay. Polishing is the right answer. Next is hazing or dull film defect is also known as. Okay. For example, if you are giving any coating, generally whenever tablets they are given coating, they look shiny. But if in case tablet is not looking shiny, if it is giving the dull effect, we call it as a bloom. Okay. Bloom is the defect. Subcoating is not there. Subcoating is the process. So, subcoating is a process when we do in the coating solution. Castor oil is not there. That is the excipient. Polishing is the step. Okay, so bloom is the right answer. That is option A. Okay, bloom is the right answer. Next is according to IP, tablet greater than 250 mg should have weight variation of. We have already discussed 80 to 80, then 80 to 250, and greater than 250, less than 80, right? Higher the weight of the tablet, lesser is the variation. This we have already discussed. Higher the weight means 5%. Here it is 7.5%, and here it is 10%. Okay. Higher the weight, lesser will be the variation. Okay. So in this they are asking greater than 250 mg. So option A, that is 5%, is the right answer. That is the allowed variation according to IP. Okay. So 5% is the right answer. So here you can see less than 80 mg, 10% is allowed. The variation percentage for IP and USP is same. Only in the USP the weight is different. Here is 80, 130. 80 to 250, 130 to 324. Then you have more than 250, and here you have more than 324. Rest 10, 7.5 and 5 is the same only. Okay. A super disintegrant in the tablet. We have already seen there are various disintegrants and there are various super disintegrants. So first is sodium starch glycolate. Yes. So SSG is the super disintegrant. Okay. It is available as type A and type B. Starch, it is not there. PVP, it is not there. And magnesium aluminum silicate, it is not there. Okay. Starch act as binder, PVP is a disintegrant, right? So these are the disintegrants, but they are asking super disintegrant is nothing but sodium starch glycolate. Okay, sodium starch glycolate. The capsules in which powders are enclosed are made up of. We have already seen the capsule in which powders are enclosed, they are made up of. That means capsule shell, it is made up of gelatin. Yes, gelatin is the right answer. Rice flour, fructose, dextrose, these are not there. Okay. So gelatin which is obtained from the pork skin or the fresh bones, right? Apart from gelatin, we are also having starch or HPMC. We call it as vegetarian capsules. Starch and HPMC, we call it as vegetarian capsules. Okay. For this option A, that is gelatin, is the right answer. Okay, gelatin is the right answer. The plasticizer used in capsule shell. Okay, plasticizer. The role of plasticizer is used to give the flexibility. The role is to give the flexibility. What type of plasticizers we are using in soft gelatin capsule shell is, first is glycerol, then sorbitol, we are using sorbitol also, then lower molecular weight polyethylene glycol, lower molecular weight polyethylene glycol, and propylene glycol. So these are the plasticizers that we are using in the soft gelatin capsule. Silicones not there, glycol esters we are not using, talc we are not using, glycerol we are using. Okay, so they are having certain viscosity which gives the flexibility to the film. So glycerol option D is the right answer. Okay. Sealing of capsule is achieved by heating at what temperature? Okay. So sealing of capsule, generally capsule that is made up of gelatin, right? So we have, while sealing, we have to make sure that gelatin is little bit melted. Then only the sealing will happen. Okay. So that at that temperature you have to do sealing and then cool it down. Okay. So we have to give little bit temperature. 100 degrees Celsius definitely is too high, right? So it will not be there. At 20 degrees Celsius, we know at room temperature, we have seen the capsules, right? So they are not melting at that temperature. So 20 degrees Celsius will not be there. 70, it is too high, okay? 37 to 40, you can remember it near the body temperature. So we are using 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, okay? Sealing of the capsule is done at 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. Next is isoelectric point of type B gelatin. Okay. First of all, isoelectric. The name itself tells you. Iso means what? Iso means same. Electric means what? Charge. Okay. Electric is nothing but the charge. So the pH at which the molecule is having same charge, or it is not, it is balanced, the charge of the gelatin is balanced, we call it as isoelectric point, right? Now remember, for type A gelatin, it lies in the basic region, okay, and for type B gelatin it lies in the acidic region. Okay, so type A gelatin basic region, that is pH at pH 9, and for type B gelatin the isoelectric point is 4.7. Okay. Now let's see B. They are asking type B. For type B, it is 4.7. So option D, 4.7 is the right answer. 9 is for type A. Okay. So option D, 4.7 is the right answer. Okay. 4.7 is the right answer. So as we know that the online classes of the MRB pharmacist examination has already started on GDC classes, which has started from 2nd March, and you will get live classes, recorded video lectures, online test series, previous years MCQs along with the e-notes. So make sure that you join the online classes now to boost up your preparation for MRB pharmacist examination. So see you all in the classes. Now let's see the next question. The approximate moisture content of a hard gelatin capsule in normal condition is 3 to 6%, 12 to 16, 20 to 25, or 7 to 10. So this is a direct question, so it should be 12 to 16%. Okay. If it is more than that, it will become soft. If it is less than 16% or less than 12%, then it will become brittle. So the optimum moisture content that is required is 12 to 16%. Okay. 12 to 16%. Option B is the right answer. So these are the ideal conditions that we have seen in the classes. Storage should be 100 degree Fahrenheit. Processing temperature should be 22, because if it exceeds, then the gelatin might get melted. Humidity should be 35 to 45%. Bloom strength, we are going to see in one of the question. Bloom strength, it should be 150 to 250 grams. Remember, units are important. Viscosity is 25 to 45 millipoise, and moisture content for hard gelatin, it is little higher, 12 to 16%. Soft gelatin, it is 6 to 10%, because soft gelatin already have higher amount of plasticizer as compared to hard gelatin capsule. Okay. In capsule, rotofill is used for filling what? Okay. First of all, roto and fill. Fill indicates it is used to fill something. What is that? It is used to fill pellets. Okay. It is used to fill pellets. First of all, remember it is used to fill the pellets. So we will see what are the other things. Option B is the right answer. Roto salt. Roto salt is a sorting machine. Okay. Roto weigh is the weighing machine. Vericap is also the weighing machine. Quali-seal, that is the filling of liquid. So for Li, here you can see Li liquid, at least you can remember. Aeroveca is the dusting and polishing, and Sedimander is the cleaning and polishing machines. Okay. Which treatment is used for the solubility of gelatin? Okay. So for the solubility of gelatin, we are using formalin. Okay, formalin. Formalin is nothing but the 40% formaldehyde. Important. Formalin, it acts as preservative also. So it is used as 40% formaldehyde. Okay, option B, that is formalin, is the right answer. Okay. So remember, exposure to formalin will result in an unpredictable decrease in the solubility of the gelatin film. The next is, which substance cannot be administered in the capsule? We have already seen this in the class, that there are certain substances which cannot be administered. For example, certain salt, KCl, or highly soluble salts. Then efflorescent material, deliquescent material, we cannot add efflorescent material, deliquescent material, because deliquescent material makes it brittle. Deliquescent material makes it brittle. Efflorescent material makes it soft. Okay. So which of the substance, KCl, KBr, NH4Cl, all of them cannot be added, because they are very highly soluble. There are chances like they will absorb the water from the shell. Okay. So all of this, it should not be administered. Along with that, alcohol, aqueous content, we are not adding into capsule shell because it will dissolve the gelatin. So option D, that is all of this, is the right answer. Pork skin is used for the preparation of the gelatin of which type? Gelatin A, B, both A and B. Okay, so basically as we discussed, we are using A. Gelatin B is from the green bones or the fresh bones. Okay, so gelatin A is from the pork skin. A for acid precursor treated, B for base, that is alkali. Okay, isoelectric point we have already discussed for gelatin A and gelatin B. Among the following, which is the largest size of the capsule? Now remember, size and the digit, they are inversely proportional. For example, 000 is the largest. 5 is the smallest. Okay. 000, 00, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So very easy, you can remember. So they are asking among this which is the largest. So 0, 1, 2, 00. Here 000 is not there. That is the reason 00 is the right answer. Okay, 00 is the right answer. So here you can see. So this is the approximate weight in mg that you can feel. Okay. Temperature of a solution during dipping is how much? Okay. So whenever you are dipping as in the molds, the pins for the hard gelatin capsule, you will dip into the gelatin solution. Now to remain its solution, you need certain temperature, right? So while dipping, it should be how much? 20, 10, 55. Definitely at other 20, 10, 5. These are very low temperature. At this temperature, it will get solidified. It requires certain temperature, that is 50 degrees Celsius. That is 50 degrees Celsius. Option C is the right answer. Identify the condition for bloom strength. I will tell you bloom strength is what. So there is a one plastic plunger will be there, and this is a gelatin. Okay. So basically we are checking that how much uh, bloom strength. It tells you about the cross linking between the gelatin. Okay. Higher the weight of the gelatin, higher will be the cross linking. Okay. For that you should know the bloom strength. For example, cross linking is very high, bloom strength will be very high. Okay. So this is the gelatin. Okay. There are certain conditions. Okay. For making gelatin solution, how much percentage of gelatin solution you will use? 6.66% weight by weight. You will make a gelatin solution. You have to make it solidify, right? So you will keep it at 10 degrees Celsius. For how much time you will keep this? 17 hours. For 17 hours you will keep, okay? Afterwards, you have to move this plastic plunger which are attached to certain weights, okay? You have to keep adding weights into this machine so that the plastic plunger will go deep inside. How much deep it has to go? It has to go 4 mm deep. So this plastic plunger will go 4 mm deep. So how much grams or the weight is required in grams? Okay, how much weight in grams is required to move the plastic plunger deep inside the gelatin, which is made up of 6.66% weight by weight, which is held at 10 degrees Celsius for 17 hours. That is nothing but bloom strength. Since we are using it in grams, right? Weight is in grams. The unit for bloom strength is grams. Okay. So let's see what are the conditions. First of all, 4 mm, everywhere it is there. 4 mm is the right answer. Here it is 66.6. We are not using this. Then we have 66.6, 6.66. 66 we are not using either of them. That means A and B is cancelled out. Okay. Then we have 25 degrees Celsius. We are not using 25 degrees Celsius. That means ultimately the correct option is 4 mm, 6.66%, 10 degrees Celsius and 17 hours. So option D is the right answer. Okay, so that is nothing but the bloom strength. Okay. Viscosity of gelatin in capsule manufacturing, it is a measure of. Okay. Now I told you, first of all, bloom is related to, first of all, softness and hardness is not related to that. Cohesive strength is given by bloom strength, or the cross linking is given by bloom strength. Okay, but viscosity tells you about the molecular chain length. Okay, viscosity tells you about the molecular chain length, and it should be between 25 to 45 millipoise. Okay, it should be between millipoise. Huh? So the ideal unit is millipoise. For the viscosity, it should be between 25 to 45. Okay. So option D is the right answer, molecular chain length. Okay. Next is viscosity range of gelatin for soft gelatin capsule preparation. Just now I have discussed 25 to 45 poise. It is not there. It has to be what? It has to be millipoise. So millipoise is the right answer. 25 to 60 centi or poise, it is not there. Okay. Option B, 25 to 45 is the right answer. The next question is, and bloom strength, that equipment, it is known as bloom gelometer. Okay, bloom gelometer is the equation, the equipment. Okay, vegetable capsule. Just now we have discussed vegetable capsule are made using gelatin. Option A is gelatin. Everybody knows only about the gelatin. But gelatin is not vegetable. We say that it is a non-vegetarian, right? Because it is obtained from pork skin. Shellac, it is a polymer, and HPMC. HPMC is the right answer. Along with the HPMC, we also have starch. Shellac, it is not there, okay? So HPMC is the right answer for the vegetable capsule, okay? So HPMC is the right answer, and pullulan is also the capsule. Okay. So these are the 30 important MCQs that we have seen regarding two important dosage form, tablet and the capsule. We will see you all in the upcoming questions and see you all in the next class. So till then, all the best for your preparation, and let's see you all in the classes also. So thank you so much and all the best.